The town of La Ronge, Saskatchewan is taking an extreme step to deal with vandalism, all because some residents are getting fed up. A group of teenage vandals chucked eggs at the walls and ceilings as they ransacked their way through one couple's house. It was part of a weekend crime spree that hit 15 property owners. The youngest teen facing charges is just 13 years old. Brian and Carmen Orthner are part of a group that's been lobbying the town to impose a curfew to keep teens off the street after 11 o'clock at night.
I think the most important thing for me in terms of the curfew is that it gives the police a tool to try and pick up kids that are wandering around with no discernible purpose. I mean, if you see a group of kids out at night with a duffel bag walking down the streets at 2 in the morning, odds are they're not up to any good purpose.
The CBC's Bonnie Allen is in Regina tonight. Bonnie, tell me about this curfew.
Well, after this recent crime spree, a group of about a dozen residents banded together and went to town council to essentially demand the curfew. They said they were fed up that this has been going on for way too long. Now, what they discovered is there was actually already a curfew on the books dating back to 2005, but it had largely been forgotten or ignored. So town council and the RCMP said, okay, they will enforce the curfew. So the rule is that no child under the age of 18 can be out past 11 o'clock, so between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Now, the onus is on the parents to make sure their kids are home and not in public places. Kids can only be out if they're with a parent, a guardian, or a designated adult. Now, RCMP said they will show some discretion. They will talk to kids, find out where they're coming from, where they're going, treat kids coming home perhaps from a part-time job differently than one that is wandering around at 4 o'clock in the morning. RCMP can fine the parents $50 to begin, then $100 after that. If police can't locate a parent or deem the house to be unsafe, they are directed to call Child and Family Services.
What about the reaction to this? What are people saying?
Well, it's been mixed. I just returned from La Ronge. I spoke to a lot of young people, and they said that it seems like the curfew is policing parents, and they are sort of being caught up in it. Here's one 16-year-old, Kennedy Prue.
I actually agree with it most of the time because of the bad kids around here, but I don't agree with it because the people that don't deserve the curfew have to obey it.
So community leaders acknowledge that this is just a quick fix, and so they've created a task force to look at why the kids are out on the streets in the first place and the deeper social problems, Chris, not only in the town but the nearby First Nations. So of course poverty, lack of education, substance abuse, gambling addictions, pretty complicated issues, and that will take some time.
And what do we know about how other curfews in other Canadian places have worked? Have they been successful?
Well, there have been varying degrees of success. So in some cases, such as Thompson, Manitoba, City Council wanted to enforce a curfew, but then had to abandon the plan after some parents and teenagers said they were going to launch a legal action, claiming that it was a charter violation. But there are curfews in existence in northern Saskatchewan, not far from La Ronge. There's a small community of about 1,500 people, Stanley Mission, and it actually has a siren that goes off, Chris, at 9:30 at night, warning kids they have a half an hour to get home. And then on the weekends, it goes off at 10:30. The difference there is it's not a financial penalty for parents. The kids are penalized, so they are restricted from recreational activities or facilities if they continue to defy the curfew.
Thanks, Bonnie.
You're welcome.